Welcome back to Tungsten Tales, ladies and gentlemen. It's the PDC Q School day number 3, and I'm happy to say we've been joined by Mark Labett, aka the Beast from Itv'S The Chase. Thanks for joining us, Mark.
Cheers, Paul. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yes, so why the darts?
I've been really interested in darts for a long, long time. I perhaps shouldn't say, but way back in 1985, I was Oxford University #1 player for one game, and I got dropped the next week. So that probably tells you how well I played.
So when you say #1, it was literally you went on first.
Went off first. I was playing with this guy, and I thought, oh, he can't play. And then he hit a 180 out of nowhere, and I was destroyed by it. And it didn't help. You played in some of the pubs in Oxford, which are quite old, and one of them I have being 6'7", have a really loopy dart style. My darts kept sticking in the bloody head thing, so I couldn't hit double top.
No, literally couldn't hit it. No, bounced off the ceiling.
I've lost count the number of times I've bashed my head trying to play darts in some places. Or you get the singed scalp when you feel the light behind you burning the top of your head.
Yeah. Which is nice. Which is always tricky. I don't think any of the pros would like that nowadays. But you're watching it. 360 players for Pro Tour qualifier Q School. And anyone you following in particular out there?
Well, when I'm not on television, I work for a company called Red Tooth, who are the biggest supplier of pub quizzes in the country. And in addition to pub quizzes, we also do poker and we do darts. And we run a national competition, and the last 8 quarter-finalists, one of our prizes was we paid for them to go to Q School. So I'm here today looking at those 8 players and praying and hoping that they realise their life history. They're all having a whale of a time out there. So far they've found it tough. They've loved it when they come up against some of the stars. Yeah. And it's been a real experience because they can't get over just how big this event is.
I mean, I'm seeing that the standard there, and obviously a lot of these players won't make, they won't make the Pro Tour. You think, my God, darts has come in such a way since 1985. I mean, I don't know if you'd be able to hack it now, would you?
Oh, no, I mean, I'm looking at this. I had a brief thought about applying for Q School this year, and then perhaps doing a sort of little blog or piece about it, but then I thought, no. If I thought I could actually win one leg, I think I might have done it. You could see the standard here, and at the same time, the pressure people are put under. That you look at these matches, and they're going along until about 4-2, 4-3. It's pretty good, and then suddenly, those last leg or two, you can see the nerves really hurt. It really hit in. Yeah.
I mean, this is a major event, and it's only obviously down to the PDC and Mr. Hearn doing it. I mean, because it really is fantastic now. Some of the best players in the world on one day working. I mean, these are days in a week, isn't it? And they're taking time out. I'm going to do this. I'm going to try and make a living out of this, and that's what is on offer in the world of darts now.
Well, that's exactly it. There's a clearly defined mechanism now where if you're good enough and you've got the confidence or the sponsorship or whatever, you can get on the tour, and you don't have to wait for somebody to, a committee decide you're worthy or whatever. If you come here and you win every game, congratulations, you're on the tour. Yeah. And that's what these guys can do. And one of the things I like about darts is, from what I can see, there's no exemptions given. There's no rewards for past endeavours. If unfortunately you've been ill and been out for a year or two, tough. You've got to start from scratch, and you've got to earn it. I mean, you've only got to look out there, seeing Peter Manley and Co. and Christian Kistar. There's some big names out there, and it's a random draw. There's no seeding. If you get 2 big stars drawn in the first round, that's the breaks.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, I think we've got 4 qualifiers every day, and then, of course, a point system on Saturday. So for the players who've obviously done well over those 4 days. And then, obviously, on to the Pro Tour for the winners. Have you attended a Pro Tour in the past? You've been lucky enough to come along and view one of those in the flesh?
I would like to come to a PDC Tour event. I've been along to the qualifiers for the World Championships at Barnsley in December. Yes. And again, it's really impressive to see. I've spent a lifetime being involved in sport, generally at a pretty low level, and I can appreciate the organisation that goes into this. That you're having about 360 people here, which means 359 matches. And for those who can't see that, there's 32 practice boards set up, and it's running pretty much like clockwork. So you've got to have someone in charge of each board. You've got to have enough staff to run the events, and it's run very professionally. And it's a very simple system. One of my chats, a guy who was timed out in one of the first couple of days, and he goes, that's the breaks. You know, they can't afford to wait for half an hour because you've gone missing for a cigarette break. Yeah. It's bad luck. You know, was it 2 minutes you've got between the end to turn up? So and the responsibility is on you, which it should be for every professional in any sport. You're responsible for your actions.
So any of the guys you're supporting, any chance at all of them getting a tour card or even winning a match or two?
I think the guys I'm watching, they can, all of them can play at this level. Yeah. And one or two are probably slightly more naturally gifted than others. But I would say when you're consistently scoring the 80s and 100s, the big difference is psychological. And you can see the ones who start beating themselves up and every little mistake or whatever. I'm lucky on what I do. I've had a bit of a break from the last year or two, and I find now I try and do on my show is don't try to win. Yeah. Just answer the question. Yeah. Do what you've got to do right now. Yeah. Don't think of the consequences. Just put every concentration what you're doing now. So these guys, if they played like they do back from practice, they've probably got every chance of going through. Yeah. But that's the difference. The good pros play in the matches like they do in practice.
Yeah, I think you're right, and that's one of the games, or maybe snooker as well. I don't think, unless at this level, the difference between a little bit of nerves, a little bit of tension, I mean, it's everything, isn't it? That double either side of the wire makes such a difference. And realistically, I think that there's probably no other sport apart from maybe those two that actually affects you. It's so defined, isn't it?
Well, exactly that. The fact that you can miss one or two shots in darts by a couple of millimetres, and that's the difference between an epic win and thanks for coming. Yeah. And it is as tight as that. Yeah. And then that can come down to imperfection in the flight, a slight change in it. You know, that's perhaps being a bit extreme. If you've ever seen ESPN television, they have a thing on sports science, and they show that they do calculations into things like baseball home runs, and they show, for example, how the difference of 5 degrees temperature can make the difference between what was a spectacular home run and actually being caught on the fence. That's how tight the margin. But that's sport for you.
Yeah, that's it.
I hope the guys, they're having a great time. They're really enjoying it. And the beauty of this gives you the mechanism to get there. You're not relying on a coach deciding whether you're good enough. You're not relying on have you had the right breaks, do you know the right people. It's if you get out there and win 6 or 7 games best of 9, congratulations, there's your tour card. I personally reckon though you've got, is it 40 people qualifying from this?
Yes, around about 40.
So I would say pretty much if you make the quarterfinals, you're probably going to be getting your tour card.
Yeah, because I think
a couple of top 16 places.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah, I think
that'd be my rough guess.
Yeah, that's right. Around about 9 sort of 10 points. Now, your background, of course, with your, I think, study at university, was it the maths you studied there? So is that part of the reason darts? Is that plays a little bit?
It certainly helps. That I mean, you get slower at maths when you get older. Unfortunately, you're best when you're 15. So I can actually understand why there's a case for getting some of these really young guys as the scorers and markers, etc., because it is certainly easier when you're younger. 10 years ago, I came 6th in the World Mental Calculations Championships. If there was a PDC version of maths, I would be there.
You'd be in the Premier League.
I'd be in the Premier League. But no, actually probably not now. I wouldn't get in the top 6. No. You get slower. Yeah. But I know a few tricks.
Yeah. So how's your 143 times table?
There's a little trick to the 143 times table, so pick a 3-digit number.
So I'll say 118.
Right, 118 times 143 is going to be, it's difficult with double ones, so it's going to be 16,858.
Yeah, he's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I'm not sure the last number's right, but something like
that. So
16,000 and change.
Yeah. So most people sort of struggle with the 7 times tables, and we're asking 143 times table. Brilliant. I mean, it is a great way of learning maths, isn't it? I think in the Netherlands, they learn the youngsters, they check darts at a dartboard, times, minus, and divide, time plus.
I checked. It's 16,854. I'm sure the last number wasn't right.
Yeah, I thought that.
I wasn't happy with it.
Yeah, but that's it, isn't it? It's like learning to count, because the amount of times in the local pub, you know, you'll always get somebody, you know, oh, I can't do the score and somebody else that, and you do the score and it all helps.
I'm sure that's how I got on a couple of teams to start. But I wasn't the best player, but they knew I could score the legs. And you may laugh, it never hurts. And let's face it, in any local pub team, someone who's prepared to be the driver, someone who's prepared to score the games or whatever, yeah, we'll have them on the team. And they go, what do you mean you haven't picked me? I said, yeah, but you're an antisocial so-and-so who will just sit there drinking beer and we'll go, I don't score. Yeah. Well, someone has to.
That's right. Someone, and they say if you can't learn to do it,